dedicate long enough to where their process is repeatable. So as an organization, they know exactly how they're going to attack it. They bring their contractors in. They do as good a job as anyone I've ever seen doing this, but as they've done it over the course of the last 5-6 years, everyone understands it going into it, what they're trying to accomplish. If it's a one-off project for a company, you know, a lot of companies, you don't see anybody doing risk well across the board. But there are projects where they get the right people in and put the A-team in, and it's a one-off, it's based on that project, right? And every project's a little bit different. But I think the main points of risk in general, like if I was doing a $1 million project, I'm probably not going to do a ton of Monte Carlo analysis. It's maybe not worth my time. Or if I do it, it's going to be at a higher level, much more fit for purpose. You know, so the strategy may change, but the basics and the best practices, I don't think they change at all. Because if I say, do you have enough room in your plot plan, yes or no? It's no different than you driving here and I say, do you think you're going to get behind an accident, yes or no? You know, if you're coming from Spring, yeah, you probably are going to end up behind an accident. It's 50-50, you know? So, I don't know if that answered the question or I danced around it, but
you answered part of it.
I think it is. I think it is the basics, though. You always do the basics right. You know, you take a sport, you play basketball, right? There's still fundamentals to dribbling the ball. You still do the same stuff, and it doesn't matter what level of basketball you're playing or who you're playing against. Now, you got different moves depending on who you're playing against. You know, if the guy's bigger than me, yeah, you're going to adjust your game some. You know, at this point in my life, my vertical leap is not so good, so probably going to make sure I have somebody sub in for me off the bench real quickly. But the fundamentals don't change. My strategy might change a little bit.
Right, and I think we're a really good fit between your software and Janus, and using the whole driving approach that you've done so eloquently today. Is with Janus, we're able to capture change orders, and we're able to capture the contingency. So, what is your contingency plan if you run into an accident? All right, you can take your side roads, or you can try to take the feeder. You can take a lot of different ways to try to get around that accident. Well, Janus does the same way. We take all your contingency, i.e. your dollars, and we can allocate them to your budget and make sure that it ties right back in the PRC software. So it's a really good handshake, if you will, between the two systems.
And I think for me too, I think they always, you know, when you talk to like an Oracle or somebody and they're talking a Monte Carlo tool, well, we only have one guy that does risk, or we don't. Risk is kind of one of those things where it's like, well, you actually have more people that address risk than you do with the schedule. Because only people that really touch your schedule outside of the reports are the schedulers. Whereas in the risk, the inputs to a risk register, everybody, I mean, the piping engineer owns risk, some of the procurement people own risk, everyone owns some of the risks. It's the one thing that does it. Risk and change affects everybody.
Well, also, the disciplines are also on part of the schedule too. You know, they are owners of the schedule.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
schedules, I mean, we don't do things in a vacuum in a box. Right, that's right.
Yeah.
We only put in there what we get.
Yeah.
So we depend on the engineers and designers, and not so much PM, but engineers, designers, procurement. We depend on them to give us some good information. Like, say, a piece of equipment is going to be a 52-week delivery.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they've been buying this piece of equipment for 10 years. Surely they know that. So that's what we need to know.
Yep. Yeah, so they're all inputting to what you're doing, and risk is the same way. You know, and everybody needs to see those reports based off of it, right? Because they own the data. All you're doing is building the logic network, how they told you to. But they still own their portion of work. And it's the same with risk. You own that, and you own the mitigations. So, you know, to me, I think it's an area, and especially in the U.S., I think in Europe and the Middle East, they're a little bit farther ahead in terms of doing it. But you still see a lot of check-the-box attitude. And that's a thing we're trying, and that's why we do these kind of presentations, is to demystify it. Because when people go, oh, we checked the box by doing a Monte Carlo once, we've done risk. Well, that's ridiculous.
As we were just talking about how in years past, risk wasn't as high of a thing as it is now. Now it's a pretty big deal, risk.
Oh yeah, oil prices go down a little bit. Yeah, risk in general goes way up, huh?
So, running slightly over.
I'm done. I've waited this long to get my own glass of wine, so I'm done talking, man. Now, thank you guys so much. I really appreciate it.
So so feel free to ask Andrew any questions afterwards. And Taryn, you want to finish up? So tell everybody thank you.
Tell everybody thank you for coming, and very much thank you to Andrew for a great presentation and discussion. We will try to get you the contact details for the Extreme T-shirt place. We got it already, right? And I think we can get Andrew's wine. So
And we're also doing a raffle as well. So so we'll get the raffle after we stop recording here in a few minutes. So. Yeah, thank you very much, and thank you for coming. And if you had too much wine, then we'll call you. Otherwise, please drive safe. Should be nice and cool outside now. Oh yeah.
Next one is when?
Next one is no January. So we haven't had the date yet.
Here you go,
so.
buddy.
All right, that's it. There's more food, so please leave that. I might need to finish.